Welcome back to our channel. Today, we are going to talk about something every person wants. Power. Not fake power, not loud power, but real power. The kind of power that makes people respect your presence, trust your words, and feel your confidence without you trying too hard. Now here is the truth. Real power is not about controlling others. It is about controlling yourself. Your emotions, your words, your habits, your time. Because the most powerful people are usually calm, disciplined, and emotionally strong. They do not talk too much. They do not react to everything. They observe more than they speak. And they move with quiet confidence. While most people chase attention, powerful people focus on self-control, focus, and discipline. And that is what separates them from the crowd. In this video, you are going to learn 8 powerful habits that can completely change your mindset, confidence, and presence. So stay with us till the end. Because once you master these habits, people will start respecting your energy differently without you saying a word. Lesson 1. Be calm and control your emotions. Real power is not loud. Real power is calm. Most people think being powerful means being aggressive, angry, or dominant. But truly powerful people move differently. They stay calm under pressure. They do not react emotionally to every situation. And because of that, people naturally respect their presence. Now here is the truth. The person who controls emotions controls the situation. But the person who loses emotional control loses power immediately. That is why calmness is strength. Now think about this deeply. Anyone can react with anger. Anyone can shout during frustration. But very few people can stay composed during difficult moments. And those people always stand out. Now imagine this. Someone insults you publicly. Most people instantly react emotionally. They argue. They become defensive. They lose control. But a powerful person stays calm. They think before speaking. Sometimes they say nothing at all. Because emotionally strong people understand something important. Not every situation deserves your reaction. Now here is something powerful. Calm people make better decisions. Why? Because emotions often create bad choices. Anger creates regret. Fear creates hesitation. And emotional reactions often damage relationships and opportunities. But calm people think clearly. And clear thinking creates power. Now imagine this. During stressful situations, instead of panicking, you stay grounded, you breathe, you observe. Slowly, your confidence becomes deeper. Because emotional discipline creates inner strength. Now let us talk about silence. Powerful people are comfortable with silence. They do not feel the need to constantly prove themselves. Because confidence does not scream for attention. It stays calm. Now think about leaders. Real leaders usually remain calm during pressure. People trust calm energy more than emotional chaos. That is why calmness creates influence naturally. Now imagine this. You become the kind of person who stays peaceful while others panic, who remains emotionally balanced while others lose control. Immediately, your presence changes. People begin respecting you differently because calm energy feels powerful. Now here is the final truth. The strongest people are not always the loudest people. Often, the strongest people are the calmest people in the room. So from today, control your emotions, protect your peace, and remember, true power begins the moment you stop allowing emotions to control your actions. Lesson 2. Talk less and make your words powerful. One of the strongest habits of powerful people is that they do not talk too much. They understand the value of silence. Most people speak constantly. They overshare, over-explain, and talk emotionally without thinking carefully. But powerful people move differently. They speak less and observe more, because they understand something important. The less you speak unnecessarily, the more value your words carry. Now here is the truth. People who talk nonstop often lose respect without realizing it. Why? Because excessive talking usually reveals insecurity, emotional neediness, or a desire for validation. But calm and quiet people create mystery, and mystery creates power. Now think about this deeply. When someone speaks all the time, people stop paying attention. But when someone speaks carefully and intentionally, people naturally listen more closely, because controlled words feel valuable. Now imagine this. A room full of people is talking loudly. Everyone wants attention. Everyone wants to prove themselves. Then one calm person speaks slowly and clearly. Immediately, people pay attention. Why? Because quiet confidence feels powerful. Now here is something important. Talking less does not mean being weak or antisocial. It means becoming intentional with your words. Powerful people do not waste energy speaking unnecessarily. They think before speaking. They observe the situation carefully. And when they finally speak, their words carry weight. Now think about arguments. Emotionally weak people talk too much during conflict. They explain endlessly, defend themselves constantly, and lose emotional control. But emotionally strong people stay composed. Sometimes silence becomes their strongest response. Because powerful people understand that not every opinion deserves explanation. Now imagine this. Someone misunderstands you. Instead of desperately trying to convince everyone, you stay calm. You know your value. You know your intentions. And that inner confidence protects your peace. Now here's another truth. People often reveal too much when they speak emotionally. Their insecurities, their jealousy, their anger, their desperation. That is why emotionally disciplined people choose words carefully, because words cannot be taken back once spoken. Now think about leaders again. Strong leaders usually speak clearly and directly. They do not fill every silence with noise. Why? Because calm communication creates trust. Now imagine this. You stop interrupting people constantly. You stop oversharing every thought. You become more observant and intentional. Slowly, your whole presence changes, because silence creates emotional control. Now here's something powerful. Listening is one of the rarest skills today. Most people only listen to reply, but powerful people listen to understand. And people naturally respect someone who truly listens. Now think about conversations. The person who controls emotions and listens carefully often understands the room better than everyone else. And understanding people creates influence. Now imagine this. Instead of trying to dominate every conversation, you stay calm and observant. You let others reveal themselves first. Immediately, you become more emotionally intelligent, because silence often teaches more than speaking. Now let us talk about oversharing. Powerful people protect their privacy. They do not reveal every plan, every emotion, or every detail of their life, because too much talking exposes energy unnecessarily. Now imagine this. Instead of announcing every future goal, you quietly work on yourself. And one day, your results speak louder than words ever could. That is real power. Now here is another important truth. People respect those who are comfortable with silence. Why? Because comfort with silence usually reflects inner confidence. Insecure people often feel pressure to keep talking, but secure people remain relaxed. Now imagine this. You enter a room calmly. You do not force conversations. You do not try to impress everyone. But your quiet confidence naturally attracts respect. Because calm energy always feels stronger than desperate attention-seeking. Now let us talk about emotional reactions again. Many people speak immediately when emotional. Angry words, careless words, defensive words, and later, they regret everything. But powerful people pause before speaking, because emotional discipline protects dignity. Now imagine this. Before reacting emotionally, you slow down and think carefully. Slowly, your decisions improve, your relationships improve, and your confidence grows, because disciplined communication creates strength. Now here is something powerful. The goal is not to become silent forever. The goal is to become intentional, to speak with purpose, to speak with calmness, and to stop wasting energy on unnecessary words. Now imagine this. Years later, people describe you as calm, thoughtful, and confident, not because you talk the most, but because your words carried meaning, and that creates lasting respect. Now here is the final truth. Powerful people talk less because they understand that words become stronger when they are used carefully. So from today, speak less, listen more, think before speaking, and remember, silence often reveals more power than endless talking ever will. Lesson 3. Observe more and understand people deeply. One of the most powerful habits you can develop in life is the ability to observe. Most people only look, but powerful people truly observe. They notice behavior, energy, body language, tone of voice. And because of that, they understand people more clearly than others do. Now here is the truth. People reveal themselves constantly through actions. But most people are too distracted to notice. They talk too much, react too quickly, and focus only on themselves. But observant people move differently. They stay calm, they pay attention, and they learn things others completely miss. Now think about this deeply. The person who understands people usually has more control in life, because understanding human behavior helps in friendships, relationships, business, leadership, and every social situation. Now imagine this. Two people enter a conversation. One person talks non-stop trying to impress everyone. The other person listens carefully and observes quietly. Who learns more? The observer. Because silence allows awareness to grow. Now here is something important. Powerful people do not rush to judge people quickly. They watch patterns first. Because anyone can pretend for a short time. But behavior repeated consistently reveals true character. Now think about this. Someone may speak kindly, but their actions may reveal selfishness. Another person may speak very little, but consistently show loyalty and respect. This is why observation matters so much. Actions always reveal more than words. Now imagine this. You stop reacting emotionally immediately. Instead, you observe people carefully, how they behave under stress, how they treat others, how they react when they gain power. Slowly, your understanding of people becomes sharper, because calm observation creates wisdom. Now here is another truth. Most manipulation works on emotional and impulsive people. People who react too quickly often become easy to control emotionally. But observant people notice red flags earlier. They notice lies, fake behavior, hidden intentions. and that awareness protects them. Now think about leaders again. Strong leaders observe before acting. They understand situations carefully. They listen more than they speak. And because of that, they make better decisions. Now imagine this. Instead of trying to dominate every room, you quietly observe the energy around you. You understand who is genuine, who is insecure, who is trustworthy. Immediately, your emotional intelligence becomes stronger. Now let us talk about body language. People communicate constantly without words. Confidence, nervousness, dishonesty, respect. Many emotions appear through body language naturally, and observant people learn how to read these signals calmly. Now imagine this. Someone says they are happy for your success, but their energy feels bitter and uncomfortable. Observant people notice these things, because awareness goes beyond words. Now here is something powerful. Observation also improves self-control. Why? Because observant people react less emotionally. Instead of immediately jumping into conflict, they step back and understand the full situation first. And that emotional patience creates power. Now think about mistakes. Many people suffer because they ignore obvious signs. Red flags in relationships, bad habits, dishonest people. Why? Because they become blinded by emotion instead of paying attention carefully. But observant people protect themselves better emotionally. Now imagine this. You become more aware of patterns in life, patterns in people, patterns in your own habits. Slowly, your decisions improve because awareness creates wisdom. Now here is another important truth. Powerful people observe themselves too, not only others. They notice their own weaknesses, their emotional triggers, their bad habits. And because of that, they continue improving themselves. Self-awareness creates growth. Now imagine this. Instead of blaming others constantly, you begin observing your own behavior honestly, your reactions, your mindset, your habits. Slowly, your emotional maturity grows because self-awareness creates inner strength. Now let us talk about patience. Observation requires patience. Most people rush everything. Fast opinions, fast reactions, fast decisions. But wise people slow down enough to truly understand situations. And that patience helps them avoid unnecessary mistakes. Now imagine this. You stop needing immediate answers for everything. You become more calm, patient, and observant. People begin revealing themselves naturally around you, because silence often encourages honesty. Now here is something powerful. The most dangerous people are often not loud. They are observant, calm, focused, because awareness creates quiet strength. Now think about emotional intelligence again. Observation helps you understand emotions better. Not only your own emotions, but the emotions of others too. And emotionally intelligent people usually build stronger relationships and make wiser decisions. Now imagine this. Years later, people describe you as wise, calm, and emotionally aware. Not because you talk the most, but because you learned how to observe deeply. And that awareness gave you strength. Now here is the final truth. Powerful people observe more because awareness creates understanding, wisdom, and emotional control. So from today, slow down, pay attention, watch actions carefully, and remember, people reveal their true nature through patterns, not words. Lesson 4. Show respect and earn real power. One of the biggest misunderstandings about power is this. Many people think powerful people are rude, arrogant, or disrespectful. But real power does not come from making others feel small. Real power comes from self-control, confidence, and respect. Because truly strong people do not need to disrespect others to feel important. Now here is the truth. The way you treat people reveals your character, especially people who cannot give you anything in return. Workers, strangers, employees, family members, these moments reveal who you truly are. Now think about this deeply. Anyone can show respect to powerful people, but emotionally mature people show respect to everyone. And that quality naturally earns trust and admiration. Now imagine this. A person becomes successful financially. Instead of becoming arrogant, they stay humble and respectful. They listen carefully. They speak politely. They treat people with dignity. Immediately, people respect them more deeply, because humility creates influence. Now here is something important. Respect is not weakness. Many people confuse kindness with weakness because they believe aggression creates power. But emotionally weak people often react with ego, anger, and disrespect. Emotionally strong people remain calm and respectful even during difficult situations. And that emotional discipline creates real strength. Now think about leadership. The best leaders are usually respectful leaders. People follow them not because of fear, but because of trust and admiration. Because respect creates loyalty. Now imagine this. Someone disagrees with you. Most people instantly become defensive or rude. But powerful people stay calm. They listen. They respond respectfully without losing self-control. And that emotional maturity makes them stand out immediately. Now here is another truth. Disrespect often comes from insecurity. People who constantly insult others usually try to hide their own weakness. But secure people do not feel the need to attack others constantly, because they already know their value internally. Now imagine this. Instead of trying to dominate people, you focus on understanding and respecting them. Slowly, your relationships become stronger, because respect creates emotional safety. Now let us talk about listening. Respectful people know how to listen properly. They do not interrupt constantly. They do not only wait for their turn to speak. They listen with attention and patience. And people naturally feel valued around them. Now think about conversations. Most people want attention. But powerful people understand that making others feel respected creates deeper influence than trying to impress everyone. Now imagine this. You become known as someone who treats everyone with dignity, someone calm, someone respectful. People begin trusting you more naturally, because respectful energy feels safe and strong. Now here is something powerful. Respect also protects your peace. When you move through life with maturity and calmness, you avoid unnecessary conflict. You stop reacting emotionally to every situation. And that emotional control creates stability. Now think about ego. Many people destroy relationships because of ego. They always need to be right, always need control, always need to win arguments. But powerful people understand something important. Peace is often more valuable than proving yourself constantly. Now imagine this. Instead of fighting for dominance, you stay grounded and respectful. Slowly, your emotional intelligence becomes stronger, because calm confidence always feels more powerful than arrogance. Now here is another important truth. Respect does not mean allowing disrespect. Powerful people still maintain boundaries. they still protect their dignity. But they do it calmly instead of emotionally. That balance creates real maturity. Now imagine this. Someone disrespects you. Instead of reacting aggressively, you respond calmly or walk away peacefully. Immediately, you keep your dignity and emotional control, because real strength is the ability to stay composed under pressure. Now let us talk about kindness again. Kindness is one of the rarest forms of strength today. The world has enough negativity, ego, and selfishness already. But respectful and kind people create positive energy wherever they go. And people always remember how you made them feel. Now imagine this. Years later, people describe you as calm, respectful, wise, and emotionally strong. Not because you demanded attention, but because your character naturally earned respect. And that is real power. Now here is the final truth. Showing respect does not make you weak. It makes you emotionally mature. Because truly powerful people do not use fear, arrogance, or disrespect to prove themselves. They earn influence through character, calmness, and dignity. So from today, respect people. Listen carefully. Protect your peace. And remember, real power is never about controlling others. It is about controlling yourself while treating others with dignity. Lesson 5. Move in silence and let results speak. Powerful people do not announce every plan. They do not tell everyone what they are about to do. Instead, they move quietly. Because they understand something important. Talking too much about goals often wastes energy. Now think about this deeply. Many people love attention more than progress. They announce every future plan online, every idea, every goal. But later, they never stay consistent long enough to achieve those things. Powerful people move differently. They focus more on action than attention. Now imagine this. Instead of constantly talking about success, you quietly work every day. You improve yourself silently. And one day, your results speak louder than words ever could. That is real power. Now here is the truth. Silence protects focus, because the less noise around your goals, the easier it becomes to stay disciplined. So from today, move quietly, stay focused, and let success make the noise. Lesson 6. Make eye contact and build confidence. One simple habit can completely change your presence. Eye contact. Most insecure people avoid eye contact because they feel nervous, uncomfortable, or unsure of themselves. But confident people stay calm and maintain natural eye contact during conversations. Because eye contact shows confidence, attention, and emotional presence. Eye contact does not mean staring aggressively. It means being comfortable enough to look people in the eyes calmly while speaking and listening. Now imagine this. You speak with calm energy and confident eye contact. Immediately, people take your words more seriously because confident body language creates powerful presence. Now here is the truth. People often judge confidence before words are even spoken. And eye contact quietly communicates strength, honesty, and self-belief. So from today, stop looking down constantly. Stand tall, stay calm, and practice confident eye contact daily. Lesson 7. Manage your time better. Powerful people understand the value of time, because time is life, and once time is wasted, it never returns. Most people waste hours every single day on distractions. Phones, entertainment, unnecessary drama, and later, they wonder why life never changes. But disciplined people move differently. They protect their time carefully, because they understand something powerful. Small daily habits create long-term success. Now imagine this. Instead of wasting hours carelessly, you use your time for growth, learning, and discipline. Slowly, your life begins changing. Because focused people always move ahead of distracted people over time. Now here is the truth. You do not need more time. You need better priorities. So, from today, respect your time, avoid distractions, and remember, the way you spend your hours shapes your future. Lesson 8. Think before speaking. One careless sentence can destroy relationships, opportunities, and respect. That is why powerful people think before speaking. Most people speak emotionally. They react too quickly. They say things during anger, frustration, or ego, and later regret it deeply. But emotionally strong people pause first. They choose words carefully, because disciplined speech creates respect. Now think about this deeply. Words cannot be taken back once spoken. That is why wise people speak slowly and intentionally. Now imagine this. Instead of reacting emotionally during difficult moments, you stay calm and think carefully before responding. Immediately, your emotional control becomes stronger. Because powerful people do not allow emotions to control their mouth. Now here is the final truth. The ability to control words is one of the strongest forms of self-control. So from today, slow down before speaking. Choose words carefully. And remember, powerful people do not speak the most. They speak with purpose. A strong son is not raised by comfort alone. He is shaped by discipline, responsibility, respect, emotional strength, and life skills. The lessons you teach him today will stay with him for the rest of his life. So guide him wisely, teach him patiently, and help him become a man who is confident, kind, disciplined, and respected. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe for more powerful life lessons and motivational content.